What's up everyone, this is Jackhammer2711 coming at you with another video review, and today I'm going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Amazing Spider-Man Collection Agent Venom. This is a Walgreens exclusive. This figure was originally intended to be released with a canceled wave of Marvel Legends late last year, and it was kind of upsetting and unfortunate because he was a figure that a lot of people were looking forward to getting, and nobody knew what the status of the figure was going to be. Well, Hasbro did go ahead and release him in cases that they sent of the Marvel Legends Infinite series to Walgreens starting in the fall of this year. And I was able to find one at Walgreens, and I picked him up for $19.99. And I'm really excited to have him. He's readily available. He's not like a lot of other exclusives where you look for him and you can't find him. I was one of those people who's really looking forward to him, and I'm so glad that they released him. Taking a look at him in the packaging here, of course you see the Spider-Man logo there at the top. This is a comic-based figure, not a movie-based figure, so you just have the regular comic Spider-Man logo at the top, and that nice spider insignia there as well. Of course, you have the figure in the window box packaging, and your Marvel Legends Infinite Series logo, and the name of the figure, Agent Venom. And this is produced by Hasbro. Taking a look at the side of the packaging, on either side you have this nice figure, this nice image of the comic book Spider-Man figure. Spider-Man drawing rather than the figure. And on the back of the packaging you have a nice image here of Agent Venom on the back of the packaging. There also is just a little blurb right there of Agent Venom. I'm not going to read it. If you'd like to read it, just kind of pause the video and read it at your leisure. And then down here at the bottom, you do have the other figures that are available in the line. Those figures being Superior Spider-Man, the Deadliest Foes of Spider-Man, which a running change of Boomerang or Ultimate Beetle. The Skyline Sirens, which is a running change of either Black Cat or Spider-Girl. You have the Amazing Spider-Man movie figure, Marvel's Electro, which is a movie-inspired figure, and then you have the Spawn of Symbiotes figures, which is a running change of either Toxin or Carnage. And of course, this is the Green Goblin, the Ultimate Green Goblin Build-A-Figure series, and there is an image of that character right there as well. And of course right here there is a little blurb. Agent Venom figure is not part of the Build-A-Figure collection, does not include a Green Goblin part. So that's Agent Venom there in the packaging. Let's go ahead and bust him out of his plastic prison and see what Agent Venom has going on. Alright everyone, we're back and we have Agent Venom out of the packaging. And Agent Venom, in my opinion, is a really nice figure. Couple of issues with him, but nothing too major that really ruins the figure. But before we take a look at him, let's take a look at his accessories. First thing Agent Venom comes with that's really cool is this thing. This is a set of symbiote tendrils that will plug into his back. And if you take a look at them, they're really nicely. They're painted and cast in a black, painted or cast. I can't really tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's painted. I think this is casted. This is cast in a black plastic, but just it has some really nice sculpting detail in there. I mean, you can see there's like a texture to them that just kind of denotes, you know, that this is something that's maybe living. You can kind of see there on that little hand type deal, there is some texture to it, and this just plugs into his back quite simply. I'll show that off later in the video, but yeah, just a really nice accessory. Agent Venom also comes with quite the arsenal. He comes with two pistols like this. These are cast in a gray plastic. No paint detail on them, unfortunately, but they're just really nice sculpts. You know, you can see from one side to the other the sculpting detail is consistent. And it's just really nice. They're just really nice little guns. Could have benefited from, you know, some paint detail You know, especially maybe like on the handle here. But very nice. He's got these two pistols. And then he comes with this submachine gun as well. Also cast in that gray plastic. No paint detail on this as well. And again, it would have benefited from it. But it's nice. It's a really nicely sculpted piece. I mean, you can see all the sculpting details across the gun here. Across the top of it. It's just a nicely sculpted weapon. You know, and it's exactly what Agent Venom should come with, you know, because he is a soldier. And a soldier should come with some weapons. And the last thing he has, and this is his more iconic weapon, is this pistol that has this laser sight on the bottom. And there is some paint detail on this. You see they've got it some red paint, a splash of it across the bottom there that denotes that is a laser sight that's located on the bottom of the pistol. And these are also very, very nicely sculpted. You can see the sculpting detail there. And again, maybe a little bit more paint detail other than just that little splash of red would have been nice. But it serves the purpose that it's supposed to serve. It looks really, really good. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the pistols that Agent Venom carries in the comics that is kind of like his iconic weapon in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. But just a really nice addition, a really nice accessory there as well. Now, taking a look at Agent Venom himself, this is a figure that I've been waiting to get, and I'm really, really glad they produced him. But just like a lot of times what Hasbro does, if they just went, man, just that much further on the figure, it would have been even better. Just taking a look at him, taking a look at the face sculpt, it's a really basic figure as far as the face sculpt and the paint detail goes, because it's just a black and white. Venom is a black and white figure. But just looking around his eyes, you know, you can see there on his mask that sculpted detail where you can tell it's fabric over the top of somebody's head. And it's really, really, really nice. Just the attention to detail there was really nice. You can even see on the head sculpt on the side here that there's a hint of an ear underneath the mask. And that's really, really nice too. And also, if you look across the front end away from the profile, you know, you can tell obviously there's somebody's nose and everything under there. And that's really, really nice. That's a really nice attention to detail on the head sculpt. All throughout this figure, I'll highlight it in a few areas, but on the shoulder pads here, on his gauntlets, you can see it somewhat on his chest armor in the sculpting. And then on his knee pads and his boots, there's like this detail of almost a crustacean-like armor on this figure. You can see it here very, very clearly on the shoulder pauldron here. This is an organic organism in some form, because of the way the armor's formed to look. It just has an organic feel and an organic look to it here, as well on the gauntlet as on the shoulder pad. And then again here you can see on the chest armor just that indication of some kind of organic armor on Agent Venom. And then again down here, of course, on his knee pads and on his boots. Really, really nice sculpting detail there. I like what they did there. And of course on his paw, you see, but it's kind of offset. The organicness of it is offset by, you see this underneath part of the pauldron that looks like just basic straight up armor. And then of course right here, you know, around his neck, that just looks like basic armor. Of course, all of this around his belt, that's straight out of an army type character's arsenal right there. What he's got going on there, and you know, he's got the leggings. Of course, he's got the pistol holstered in right there on the side. Now this has paint detail, but it's non-removable, of course. But it's still nice to have that level of paint detail on the figure. But just really, really nice. I like the contrast of organicism Is that even a word? Did I just make that up? I'm going to use it. Organicism paired along with fabricated armor. It's really, really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Of course, this is Venom, so he has that spider logo across his chest. It's more stylized than it has been in the past. I do kind of have an issue with that. If you look, there are gaps in the paint in areas where you can tell it's just the paint isn't as thickly applied as it should be. And all in all, just you can't really see it on the video screen, but it's just like the paint on the white paint is just not quite dark enough. Like you could have used another, maybe 1 or 2 coats of paint to really get the kind of good, adequate coverage that you would like to see out of a Marvel Legends action figure. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong. And now I have seen some figures where it's dreadful. This is one of the better figures that I saw, and so I picked him up. But it's not too bad. And that black and white has always provided a good contrast against each other for the character of Venom. And of course, that's a little bit of a difference here on the face mask. Traditionally Venom just has the all white eyes. Well, in here, it's the way it's sculpted. It's almost like these are goggles with white trim around them, and it looks really, really cool. I like that look of those black eyes rimmed by that white paint detail. But and of course, continuing to look down here, he does, as I mentioned, he has this belt that a soldier would wear. It's just got all kinds of pouches and things on it. You got a bigger pouch here on the side there. He's got a knife. Right here, it's part of the sculpt. It's not removable, but it's there. And he's got some more pouches along the back of his belt here. A couple looks like gas grenades right here. And then, some more magazines probably for his weapons. And then, he's got a canteen. You out there doing your soldier thing, you're probably going to get thirsty. And then just more and more pouches across the front. And it looks really, really good. It's a nice addition to the figure. I really think it looks nice. Very, very well executed right there. Of course, Venom does have those white patches on top of his hands, as he always does. And then there's some more paint detail here. He's got this extra white detail that comes, from his hip down there and then around to the back of his leg as well, as you can see there. Another issue I have with this figure, as you can see here, this white paint detail is supposed to go all the way up to the top of his hip. And it does here and there on the back of that leg. On the other leg, however, there's no paint detail on that ball joint by the hip. It's just not there. And to me, that's just laziness. I understand that it's covered by the pouches and everything. I get that. I understand. But it's just a little swath of paint here and here that would really just complete the figure. Let's say someone isn't crazy about this and they want to cut this off and display the figure without it. They can't. Unless they're a customizer and they can paint that piece of detail on the hip because it's missing there. That's just laziness. I really do think that's just laziness on the part of Hasbro. But at the same time, I understand you try to cut costs where you can. Cut costs, rather. But anyway, continue to look at the sculpt. There you have those really, really nicely sculpted boots once again. And see, it's a combination of organic armor on the front and not so much on the back, but they're all one piece. It's one piece connected over the top of his boot, and it just looks really, really good. And then you see some sculpting detail on the bottom of his boots there as well. Really, really nice. Couple complaints I have about this figure. Hasbro's been doing Marvel Legends for quite a while now, and they've got a lot of new body molds that they could use, but they chose to go with an older body mold for this. One that does not, I repeat, it does not have the wrist swivels right here. Not swivels, but hinges. I just really feel like in this day and age of action figures, to put out an action figure that doesn't really have a wrist hinge, it's just, I don't understand it. You know, you have the molds that you can use it. Just do it. Just use it, you know, and sculpt pieces where you need it to make up for the lack thereof whenever you need to. And another thing, they've got a lot of new body molds that use the new T-jointed crotch pieces where the articulation is just a straight up articulation point up and down right here. This doesn't use it. This has that old Y crotch that just you kind of have to work with the articulation to get it to work. It's not that bad. I've gotten used to it over the years, but I just prefer that T crotch. I really do. But I'm taking a look at his articulation. He looks up about that far and then down about that far, pretty good bit. Head will go all the way around. Arms go all the way around as well. This shoulder armor is not articulated, but if you look, it's connected down there, but it is soft enough, and you saw it doesn't get in the way of the articulation at all. Arms go up about that high, back down. He does have a rotation at the bicep, 360 degrees. He does have the double jointed elbow, so you can get some good movement out of that there. He has the swivel, but the swivel is up high, you know, kind of right there below that elbow articulation. But it is there. It is there. So I mean, it's at least they included it. He does have a twist at the waist. He does have ab crunch, but this armor piece that goes over it hinders it just a bit. But it is still there. You can still see the ab crunch in there. You can get some posability out of it. Of course, the legs go out about that far. It's freer here. It's a little bit hindered on this side by the pouch right here, but it will move. And of course, they go back in. It's on that Y joint, like I said, so the articulation, it does go out and then back in. It swivels all the way around at the thigh right there. He's got a good double jointed knee, so some good movement there out of it. And he does have a hinge at the ankle and that crazy Hasbro ankle pivot. Now, I know what you're thinking. I expected to see some holsters to holster his weapons. He's got 4 weapons and 2 hands. Why would they do that? Why would they include a figure with 4 weapons and nowhere to put them? That's just, you're just begging to get lost parts. Well, that's where this comes into play. This, as I said, pegs into his back right there. And then what you can do with this is you can take his guns, and his tendrils will hold his guns. How cool is that? And you just keep going. You just kind of have to keep playing, though. His tendrils will hold these weapons. I love that. I love whenever Hasbro puts little touches like this in that just kind of brings a figure over the top and makes it even better than it already was. I mean, you kind of have to fiddle with a couple of them to really get them to hold them in a correct way, or in a way that makes it work for the figure. But each one of these will hold a weapon. And then you have this. Scary. I know, right? And there you have Agent Venom. I like the figure. Couple small details I wish would have been changed or improved upon, but all in all, a nice figure, and really nice considering we almost didn't get this guy. As always, leave a comment, subscribe, like the video if you liked it, rate it, and let me know what you guys thought. And as always, this is Jackhammer 2711, and I will catch you on the flip side.